Hello Gretna High School, welcome to our first video in our student series. On this series we'll ask Gretna High School students about 3 questions, and the 4th question will be actually about Gretna High School. The rest will be about current news around the world and in the nation. What do you think about North Korea's recent actions? Should the US take precautions, or is the threat not really a threat at all?
I think that a lot of people take North Korea as kind of like a joke, and that like, oh, they're harmless, but I feel like they've made a lot of advancements with their technology. I think it's definitely something we should be worried about. I feel like it's like if we treat them as a joke or like they don't mean anything, then they're just going to be more provoked and more willing to try and attack us. So I think that if we responded with a lot of military force, I think it would send a message, but I think it would also be seen as a challenge, and that they will try to retaliate and they will try to become better and more militant.
I think North Korea is really full of themselves. I don't think they're anywhere near as advanced as they say they are. And I also know how well we are prepared for this. So anything coming from North Korea, I know will not be a threat for us because we will have it out of the air really quickly.
If all of their past threats had been acted upon, then maybe this would be worth considering. I'm not terribly concerned about this, but if something does actually happen this time, then action should be taken.
We should take precautions and whatnot, and be ready for it if in case anything does happen.
It goes both ways. I mean, right now at the moment it's probably not a threat because they're just building him and they can barely get him over to the US, but maybe we should take caution to it right now.
I'm not really well educated on what to do in a nuclear crisis, so I'm not 100% sure, but I do think we should be doing more than what we're doing now.
Now, many people tend to think that North Korea isn't quite a threat, and that's what some people have said. The majority of the people who actually gave their opinion said that North Korea is a threat. And I, again, would like to agree. Yes, it's a nation that is not yet developed at its full peak yet. But because of something like this, launching missiles that have not been approved just for testing over Japan, or seeing the range that they could actually go forth. Yes, in the past they have not done much. But if you actually look at it, yes, it does make sense. Yes, they are an opposing force. Now, whether you want to believe Donald Trump's quote of "Rocket Man to Kim Jong-un," that's up to you. Now, one point that was brought up I thought was incredibly intelligent and, well thought out. It was the notion that you should teach students or teach faculty members anything to be prepared for a disaster that could happen, like nuclear war. Now, way back when, they actually taught students to hide under their desks and had a little mascot of a turtle just so they could, be protected for maybe a nuclear strike, any missile that could fall down on the US at any second. I believe that was the Cold War. This is a great example of what could happen, what you should teach people in order to be prepared. And it could go back to the disaster situation. Yes, teach people to be prepared. That is how you better prepare. You can't stop doing something and hope that would suddenly increase in power or in range of anything else. That notion is completely beside itself. That's ridiculous. What is your opinion on Donald Trump's removal of deferred action for childhood arrivals?
Sure. If those parents are going to be forcefully deported or removed from America, then I think they should be able, if they want to bring the child with them, if they prefer the child to stay there, give them the child's best chance.
They are productive members of society, generating income for the government and for the United States. They're serving in the militaries, protecting the United States. And now we're just kicking them out and asking them to leave, abandoning everything they worked this hard for. It's not fair at all for them, and I don't think it's very smart that Donald Trump would do this.
In the US Constitution, there is a law that says a citizen can be determined if you were born on United States soil. So in that regard, it is unconstitutional to take that away, but with all these serious questions being brought up in recent memory and recent history of what is constitutional and what isn't, I'm not so sure if it isn't a question that shouldn't be posed, but I don't know if there is a right or a wrong way to handle this situation.
I do know what it is. I think it should have been Congress's problem in the first place, because President Obama made an executive decision, and he's not supposed to make the laws, he's supposed to suggest the laws, and Congress is supposed to ratify and make the laws. But I do believe that Trump did the right thing and he didn't cancel it, he just moved it to Congress.
They're still illegal immigrants, but I mean, they're just kids, so it wasn't really their choice to the country, so. But I'm not really sure where I stand on that, because they're still illegal immigrants with them.
I saw this video the other day that really made me think about it, where this little girl has been in this country since she was 2 years old, and she is going to get DACA removed from her when she is 17. So she has not had any opportunities in this world. She cannot.
Now, I will have to say that many of the students didn't quite know what this is, and those who did thoroughly explained it, probably because they wanted to learn more about it. There is an immigrated family, and the immigrated family has a child or children. Now, the parents, may be deported, and if they are deported, what happens to the child? Now, this states that the child would have to go back to whatever region that the parents would come from. Now, people think that this action of just passing this on to Congress is just a way of brushing it off. In reality, he's just holding off what may be the inevitable, or it could be the exact opposite. He's trying to, delay something that shouldn't happen. He doesn't want it to happen. That's why he could pass it on to Congress. In no way have I heard that he's trying to force this upon American citizens. It's exactly what he's doing to try to pass it on to Congress. So nothing like this would happen again. Another thing that was brought up was the economic impact of this all. Now, if you get rid of those millions of immigrants, whether they be illegal or legal, doesn't matter, the economy would take a major blow. There is no reason to get rid of all of these working American citizens or working individuals in a community. Would you consider Gretna High School's offering of classes such as personal finance and home improvement classes to be appealing to students? Students often worry about not being able to pay their taxes or fix a door handle because they were not taught.
But later in life, I know I'm gonna have to be able to apply those skills, and I know that with personal finance, it's something you can't escape. You kind of think of school as you're for math, English, science, and history, and you think that's what school is. But
I think they might be able to do better by making at least some aspects of those mandatory classes, because I know my schedule's filled up with classes that I already want to take, and I don't think a lot of people want to take classes on how to do taxes, but if that is included in one of the math classes, I think that could help a lot more people.
Right now, high schools are so geared towards getting you in the mindset for college. Okay, what's your future going to be? What's your career? What are you going to do with your life? And they don't so much focus on actual everyday things that you will need to know. They don't so much teach you about everyday basic plumbing. They don't teach you how to fix a door handle. They don't teach you how to do any of these things.
I'd say some, maybe, but it just depends on the individual.
I'm sure they appeal to some students, and they probably get the job done.
I think it is, but at the same time it isn't, because there are students our shop class that like our shop classes, and those are helpful to them because that's the field that they want to go into. But with our personal finance, I can't say a lot about it because I haven't taken it. I don't know if they teach you how to do that in that class. But at the same time, I think it should be a mandatory class.
I think that classes like personal finance stand well on their own, because electives, that's their whole point of existence, in my opinion. Yes, you can integrate small little portions into main classes, but the fact that Gretna High School has other electives personally for these reasons makes sense. People have so many electives that they have to achieve, and that is easily achievable in Gretna High School status. That is why we have electives for these classes. That concludes the first episode of this student-based show. I hope that many of you will actually take a liking to this and want to be a part of it. We'd love to know exactly what you have to say and how involved you are in the community and exactly what you know about the news around you.